Good morning. Taking a look at what we have here. Um, Still in the higher for longer bias. Yesterday was pretty nasty. Did end up running this buy side liquidity and creating the high of day shortly after. Um, Last night was there was no sense of direction, I guess, pretty much until about 3 a.m. 3 a.m. on the dot. We traded higher, came down, took out these swing lows, took out all but this, two ticks away from this, so we now have relative equal lows down here. Excuse me. And then this morning, um, at 9 o'clock, we ran this high pretty aggressively. I'm not sure why. Haven't paid attention to any news or anything of that sort. But after doing so, we traded down into this gap here that was created during this. Haven't closed it, and I want to say we're maybe around the midpoint. Did have an opening range gap here. Midpoint is right here. Here's the high. And I'm going to say this is the low. So we're kind of hanging out in this area right now. Price isn't very clean. Yeah, price definitely isn't clean. Um, we're also between a couple first presented fair value gaps, and we have this divergence here. So we may go sideways for a bit. Um, it's not the worst price action, but it's a little more volatile than usual. Like these are 1 minute candles here. This is a 1 minute candle at the open. High to low, about 33 handles. And this one here, high to low, is about 40 handles. So a little crazier price action this morning. So a little bit tougher of a read considering we took out all of the buy side or sell side liquidity from this morning and last night, with the exception of this here. But that created relative equal lows. So that could be something we seek. But we have to remember the higher time frame bias is buy side delivery, so going up. But when we scroll this out again, we've taken out all the buy side liquidity, all the recent buy side liquidity, including last week's high here. So just a tougher situation here this morning. So we might just have to sit on our hands and see if anything plays out. But I don't know. I don't trust too much with how volatile this is. These wicks are really large, and they're also very big to have gone nowhere. If we see like a large candle, we want to see displacement in one direction, and we want to see follow through, but we haven't seen that. We've seen large candles both directions. So it just tells you that it's a pretty unsafe environment, and that paired with the SMT divergence here makes it even tougher. Now we do see that YM and ES are now in the negative, and Q is lagging, so we may get some delivery. Still tough to believe. Let's drop down to a lower time frame and see if that's going to agree with this here. So we're into this first presented fair value gap. I want to see if we actually trade through it or if we just use it and bounce off of it, considering price hasn't had much of a direction up here. No, I'm a bit late. I wasn't able to. I could have been able to take that. I did not take it. That's the real fact of the matter there. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I would have been looking to take it after this was created here. So missed the entry. Not super upset about it. So I do think that now that we have some follow through, we are gonna seek the 7 21 7 12. So we'll see if we can actually get an entry in here. But if we do continue with sustained delivery lower, 21 7 12 is the area I'm looking for. Now, right there is very indicative of non-farm payroll delivery. Like, this doesn't mean that we aren't continuing lower. This could be incredibly high resistance, but at the same time, it could mean we're going nowhere. Um, Move up to the one and just see. I mean, the body's respected this new day opening gap for today, but I still don't like this. So the high is the bottom quadrant of this to the tick. All done, buddy. All done. All done. So we still have the 1 minute up over here, but I'm moving over to the 5 second here to see if we actually have something that we can trust. I don't like it. See, we took out this minor sell side, which is fine, but I don't like the delivery. I don't like this SMT divergence. So this is an incredibly high resistance liquidity run. It looks like for sell side, because we came down and went all the way back up through every order block, with the exception of the very first order block created on the 1 minute. So indeed it was. We just took out that 21,712, and you see this reaction here, just a little bit of a slowdown. We'll see if it pushes down, but during non-farm payrolls week, it's not super trustworthy. Sustained prices. I don't know. We'll see if we continue down, but I kind of have a suspicion that we're going to ping pong between different PD arrays. So this is super interesting, right? Let's look at the 1 minute here. Oh, you know what? On the 1 minute, this was actually disrespected. So none of these actually count. This is the only order block you could have taken for this, right? You would have had to get an entry pretty much here and know it was an order block, but we saw that this order block here was invalidated. Um, so it's one of those things where it's like you need a little bit of luck on your side in this sort of delivery, because we have an invalidated order block here. So how do we trust that it's going to go lower? Then we had what seemed to be the start of an order block here, and it didn't pan out. And then as soon as we got this one here, we didn't wait, we just rushed down. But if you go up or go down to the lower time frame, we have a couple of deliveries. So order block here, I guess this is the first one for sure. Then we have this delivery here. Would have had to use this order block or this one. Then another delivery here. Let's see. Yeah, so to here, and then he would have been stopped out if you hadn't taken profit here. And then right here and here. So this leg was the least what do I want to say? Least resistance. This leg here saw the least amount of resistance for the full delivery, because these ones here stopped and came up, stopped and came up. This one right here, straight through from the opening range gap midpoint to this new day opening gap from yesterday. Cleanest delivery of all of it. But if you go up to the 1 minute time frame, it's not there. Just really, you really would have had to know that this was the order block being used here. Let's see. No fair value gaps that I'm seeing that we could have used, unless we use this here as an inversion fair value gap. But that's about it on the 1 minute time frame. Hey, bud, leave it. So this could remain a high resistance liquidity run lower. I don't really know. I want to see some displacement over here to trust that it's going to go higher. But let's take a look and see. This is the first presented fair value gap from this morning. So I think if we can get above here, close above there, we can start to go higher. Of course, that's like 50 handles higher. But right now, the way that this delivery has been, the fact that we've come back this far doesn't necessarily tell me, hey, the sell side delivery is done. The fact that we ran out those relative equal lows, so being this one here, and honestly this, because this is a pretty good sell side liquidity pool, um, that could stop the run. If we saw this sort of reaction like this here outside of non-farm payroll week, I'd maybe consider it a little bit more, but I kind of can't right now with the delivery that we've seen. And we can see right now we are kind of between PD arrays, fair value gaps here, being the new day opening gap and first presented fair value gap here. Interesting. We're creating a lot of minor buy side liquidity and taking it out. So we created all this, or minor liquidity, being buy side and sell side. So we created all this, took it out. And these are minor as well. So super interesting. Let's drop down to the 5 second here. Just get a better feel for what's happening, because these candles aren't telling us too much. They're kind of keeping the narrative of lower delivery right now, but we can see the slow robotic delivery may not necessarily agree with the continued lower delivery here. So moving into a lower time frame just to look at that. Don't know if we can trust it, but possible order block right here. I want to see some more displacement before trusting that this is going to go higher. So let's see if this balances here or continues lower. Opening range gap low from today. And these three are in sync right now, which is good. See 950. So this delivery is a bit different from yesterday. Um, in that yesterday we didn't have much direction. Like right now we don't have much direction, right? This is kind of just doing this sideways action here, right? But yesterday this was occurring much more slowly. So it wasn't as wide as this. It was maybe about this wide for most of the day. Um, um, looks like we have a market structure shift here on the 1 minute. On a 5 minute as well. But, yep, the higher high. So, higher lows, higher high right here. But yesterday, this was like this sideways, but pretty small. And today we're seeing it's a little bit wider of a berth. So, you never really want to trade in sideways action, but you definitely don't want to trade in sideways action when it's wide. Hey. Quiet. Still a higher low at the moment. You want to see if it remains that way, or if we go lower. Um, I do kind of want to see us get outside of this range. Also, doesn't matter if it's to the buy side or sell side. I just want to leave this range and see if price gives us anything that we can trust more. Outside of that, I'm not really interested. I don't know. It's given high resistance liquidity run for sell side, but we do have that little shift in market structure, so still a tougher read. Just when price action is not efficient, it's harder to see what's going on. And sometimes there's literally nothing going on. So like yeah, a little order block there, but is it gonna hold? Hmm. I like that. Let's see if this candle here displaces higher. If we start getting some quick displacement higher, I think this may actually be a trustworthy run. Outside of that, I don't really care or trust it. Oh, we're inside the 10 o'clock hour also, so we're probably going to see a little bit more movement. First 30 minutes of the opening range are done. Okay, so we are displacing higher at the moment. I still want to see us get out of this range, but we are displacing higher. Yeah, this is pretty nasty, but we still do have that healthy market structure shift for the time being. So right now we want to see if we respect the midpoint of this. I don't think we will. We did not. That's good. That may be good. Um, yeah, that may be good. We just got to see how this plays out. Yeah, so this may be the order block that starts to take us higher. I want to see how it closes here. Otherwise, we might just continue sideways. mm, I don't love it. We'll see what the following candles give us. So solid shift in market structure. Um, Price is a little too volatile for my taste. Um, I don't know anymore actually. So I'm gonna see. I want to see this side of the range taken out in order to trust that it's a good shift in market structure. We do have the higher lows, but this high is lower, and this might keep us in a consolidation pattern. Um, so I would like to see like this here be taken out in order to trust higher. And we have a lot that we can use if we get all the way up there. Like it's not that big of a deal if we go all the way up there before getting an entry. But I like the stability that we have in knowing that the market structure truly shifted as opposed to falling into a consolidation pattern. I like this order block here. I'm not taking it, but I do like the way that it presented itself. So let's see if we can balance this. Okay, we balanced it. And these are relative equal highs, so we want to watch and see what happens because we did just take out this liquidity. Although we balanced the range, we took out this liquidity, so that could give us a little bit of a slowdown if it's not the strongest delivery. So want to watch and see if we get more displacement. And keep an eye on these as well, these averages. If we get some SMT divergence, we may go sideways, but if we get SMT divergence and all three indices start to move in sync, that could be the start of a more sustainable run for buy side. And let's take a look quickly to see what we have for buy side. We've got quite a ways to go for buy side. I don't necessarily know if we take it out this morning or in the afternoon or tomorrow with NFP data delivery, but we'll see. Yeah, this looks solid. I'm not thrilled. Like, I'm not taking that, but it is a solid shift in market structure. I just don't like where our stop would have to be. That's a lot of risk for me. But it to me it does look like we're gonna go higher from here. So let's see what the low is on this. 733. Yeah, we got these here too. I like the idea of this starting to gravitate up and then the next one going higher, or the very next one coming and punching through the low of this and then just turning up and never looking back. So we just punched through there. Let's see if we just start heading up. Yeah, see, that's a little bit too much for me. I wasn't right on it, but I do think this candle here continues higher. Ooh, never mind. That is nasty. So it does look like we're gonna go sideways here. I don't necessarily believe that this is gonna go lower. I do think it's gonna be just nasty. This could be the low, but or like the swing low, but I just don't trust this price delivery. So interesting here. Low 770.75, high 735. This is absolutely nasty. take a look at the 5 second. And let's actually go up a little bit higher. Yeah, so this is insanely nasty on the higher time frame. None of these order blocks have held. This one, I guess, but this one has been invalidated. This immediately invalidated. This not yet, but I I think we will invalidate it. And this is kind of expected. Day before non-farm payroll, right? We're not gonna see like the best price action, and we usually have to come into today knowing that. Yesterday as well. Wednesday and Thursday are usually not great. Friday isn't great until 8:30, but obviously don't hop in front of a runaway train tomorrow before 8:30. Um, yeah, this is nasty. I genuinely can't tell if it remains a super high resistance um, sell side liquidity run, or if we just continue sideways here. We're just gonna have to break this one side or the other with displacement. Like outside of that, it's pretty hard to trust anything. And the 5 second isn't gonna. I mean, the 5 second is gonna help us, but we're not gonna be able to take an entry off of the 5 second until we see some follow through here. Let's take a look at the 15 second also. 15 second is a little more gnarly. This is probably great for a, well, it is great for a high frequency trader. It's not great for my method. Hello, bud. What's up? You need some water? Might want to watch this on the 1 minute to see if it becomes the order block that we use. I think it's plausible. It's the low, 721. Oh, that's just nasty. Hmm. See how this bad boy's looking. Take a look at the 5. Now, this may sound crazy because of the way that this came down here, but I could see us actually starting to displace higher. Um, It's non-farm payroll week, so price is just going to deliver a lot differently than it normally does. But yeah, this here does look to me like it could start to displace higher. I would think pretty quickly too, just based off of this here. Come back to the 5 second, but yeah, let's see. Let's see if we get some follow through. And again, watch the averages over here. See if we get some divergence. So we still got 4 minutes left on that candle there. I do think it will want to continue higher. It's a low, 724.25. Let's see what 724.25 looks like here. I like this as an order block. Let's see how these next couple candles trade. So I'll bring this in. Because we can't really trust it with it being non-farm payroll week. So we'll bring that in just to cover commissions. Alright, so I'm gonna take one more off here. I do think we displace higher, but I'm gonna take one off. Just waiting for a little bit of a push. Okay, so it's a decent bit of a push there. So we took off all but one. Now we'll just watch and see where we go from here. I'll bring this in just a little bit. We're pretty close to the first presented fair value gap from this morning now. Um, so we just ran, we're pretty close to running this high here. I do think we'll run these here. I'm not going to hold for that unless we just start displacing pretty quickly. Um, and then we have this obviously for like the end of the day, or it could be the morning. But I think I would really only look for these, but I'm not planning on holding for that because it's non farm payroll week. I do want to see what happens when we hit the first presented fair value gap from this morning. And I believe this is yesterday's high. Let me see. Yeah, yesterday's high. So I do want to see what we do once we get here. But again, I think these are the draw on liquidity. Let's just bring this out a little bit. Let's see, these are the relative equal highs here. I don't need all of this. Bring that right in there. Drop back down to the 5-second here. So let's see what happens when we touch this. Do we press through it like a knife, or do we just come right back down? You see we reached up for the yesterday's high, but on the 5-second we haven't closed above the midpoint of this first presented fair value gap from today, so we might meet a little bit of we might see a little bit of time distortion, like going sideways and stuff, maybe even coming lower a bit, uh, and just seeking price before pressing through it. So it does look like we just formed an order block on the 1 minute. We want to see how this current candle, um, you know, delivers. But that does look like a fairly strong order block on the 1 minute. Got to just see how these next two candles close on the 1 minute over here. I do think if this candle here closes up above this order block, just expect the next one to come in a little bit here and then start to rip higher. So we got about 20 seconds left there. Okay, so now we're pressing into it, and I'd want to see price just start to rip higher right here. We do have this divergence with NQ being the leader, so it might be a little tough, but I would just now want to see price want to rip and aim for this liquidity here. And I'll bring this in a bit. We may get stopped out by bringing that in, but you know, we're what 50 points higher now. I don't want to have my stop sitting um, 10 points up when we're up 50. That's a little blasphemous, even with this um, crazy price delivery that we're seeing, or just this non farm payroll price delivery. I'd still rather get stopped out and profit than to let it sit 30, 40 handles lower. And I do like where it is, where this stop is. It does seem that we're doing some price discovery right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it run down here quickly and run this out and then run higher. But I do just want to keep this on because it does seem that we're running for that buy side liquidity. So let's see. Yep. I think we just ran this out. We came close. I don't think we ran it out yet. Yep. But watch this because we're not. I got stopped out, but we're not going to continue running lower. I don't think. I do think we're going to continue for this up here. Um, but again, it's non-farm payroll week. We're gonna see price do things like this and retrace. What is that? 25 handles before going higher. It's just the nature of this week. So I'm gonna let this run for just a little while longer, um, just to highlight the nuances of non-farm payroll week and the price delivery we see there. But again, I don't think we're going to continue lower for a long time. I think we wanted to seek some liquidity and then continue on higher. So let this run for a minute or two longer, and then I will go touch grass. Let's see if we have anything for sell side. Uh, Decent sell side liquidity pull here on the 5 second, but I don't know. And now these are in sync again, so you know, I think prices. We're just not going to see sustained price in either direction, like sustained sustained for long enough to run out liquidity on either side in one rip. I think what we're going to see here is we'll see a price run like we did here for a bit, then we'll see them like we do here for a bit. But I think it's going to be a super long road today to take out this buy side liquidity. Um, I'm not super interested in hanging around because of this delivery, but I'd say come back and check this later and see if we ran this out by the end of the day. Move up to the 1 minute. I want to see what we have here, what this is. Okay. Yeah. So, interestingly enough, what we've done is we've come into the first fair value gap of this price run, and even more interesting, I think it's the silver bullet. So it's the first fair value gap inside of the 10 o'clock hours. So we're actually going to mark that. See what the close is. 753.75, 754. Okay. So we did just Mohawk here. Order block here, but I do think it will be invalidated. Yep, invalidated now. We did Mohawk this here, so this might be all we needed to do to continue higher. Drop, move up to the 5 minute just to see. This. I kind of can't believe this. I think in the next 4 minutes, this candle here will go straight up. We'll see. Took out the minor sell side right there. Yeah, let's watch this candle here over the next 4 minutes. It's definitely a dangerous environment. Yeah, I'm not interested in trading it any longer, but I do think this candle here is gonna be pretty strong. Let's go back to the 1 minute. I am gonna go touch grass, so I'm leaving this. I'm turning this off. But I do expect this candle here to be a pretty strong buy side delivery here. That's just the nature of non-farm payroll week to see something crazy like this here. But yeah, that's all from me. Good luck, good trading, only good trades. Be safe.